I was under attack, dodging arrows from my past. I had no hope for tomorrow. Felt so much pressure, yes, I thought I would crack, but
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Bible study. We are finally coming back after my whole recovery process. I do want to say thank you to everybody who prayed for me, that was there for me during this whole time and everything like that. I definitely want to give a special shout out to my husband, to my mom, to my kids, of course, and to Regina as well, my best friend that she was here with me, when I had my operation and helped me out through all this time. It really was a blessing to have, these people there for me to, just be there for me, do little things that I couldn't do at that time. And my mother would cook for me, definitely felt like like I was taken care of. So, I do thank God for that. It was definitely a blessing. And thank you everyone who prayed, and reached out to me, through phone and everything like that. I definitely appreciate it. Tonight, we, like I said, we are going to have our first prophecy update, where we're going to be taking a look at what is going on in the world and what the Bible has to say about it. We're going to start off in Matthew 24, 42 through 43. We're going to be doing this once a month. So, and I also want to do, let you guys know that we are going to have testimony night next Wednesday. Tonight was a special circumstance that we had to do it on Thursday, but normally, we do our Bible studies on Wednesdays. So next Wednesday, we will be having a regular Bible study time, but we are going to have testimony night next Wednesday. So anybody out there who feels like God wants you to give their testimony, like I've said before, a testimony is such a powerful thing. God tells us that it's like one of our two weapons that we have. We have the power of the blood of Christ and our testimony. The word of our testimony is huge. It's something that Satan does not want us to say. There's so much power in what we have to say because of the power that was used for us to go, whatever it was that we went through, that gave us that testimony. So, we as followers of Christ, our job is to give our testimony and to let others know this is what happened to me. And more than likely, you're going to touch someone out there that needs to hear it. So let me know. Text me, send me a Facebook message, whatever, just let me know if you want to give your testimony next Wednesday, okay? So like I said, Matthew 24, 42 through 43. And it says there, "Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up." Now, in the Bible, time and time again, we are told to watch, to pay attention, to look up. Never does the Word of God tell us to go about our business and just, don't worry about what's going on around you. Just let it go, whatever, Jesus was adamant about us keeping watch. The verses we read in Matthew are Jesus' words. Now let's keep reading in that chapter and see what else Jesus has to say on the matter. So we're going to be going now from 44 through 51, the verses. "Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, who to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, that is a very powerful verse. Those verses are very powerful in what he's saying. And, Jesus is definitely letting you know. Remember also where it talks about what's going to be happening in the end days. It's like before that time happens, or before that time comes, it's basically going to be a situation where they say people will still be marrying, they'll still be, going on their daily lives and whatnot. They'll just be going off like as if nothing's happening, everything's normal and whatnot. And so that's why Jesus is saying you need to be watching, you need to pay attention. So as you can see from these verses, we literally don't and shouldn't have even one day off from not watching for his return. And when we go through what is going on in the world today, you will see that the signs are there that we are indeed living in the last days. Now, honey, can we get the pictures up, please? Okay. Let's start with a big one of what is going on in China right now. The Chinese government is cracking down on all religions, but Christianity is taking the worst blow. They are not only tearing down churches, literally, but they are burning the crosses, the crosses from the temples, and burning Bibles in the streets. To make matters worse, they are forcing people to verbally, and in many cases, they are told they have to write a written document that says that they are to deny Jesus and renounce their faith. Now, this has been happening now for maybe a couple years, like 2 or 3 years, and it's just getting worse. They are forcing many people into re-education camps where they are basically being brainwashed into rejecting their religion and accept the government as their God. Now, I'm not joking about any of this. You can definitely research and look this up yourself. And if all of this sounds like what the Nazis did many years ago, you would be right. This is what communism does to a country. And unfortunately, there are way too many millennials out there right now that think that communism and socialism is the way to go. Not even caring about what really happens in the countries where communism and socialism are the government. Now, what does the Bible say about all this persecution happening towards the Christians? Let's go to Mark 13:9. Honey, how do you go to the next one? Okay. Okay, Mark 13:9 says, "But be on your guard, for they will deliver you to the courts, and you will be flogged in the synagogues, and you will stand before governors and kings for my sake, as a testimony to them." Now, it's no wonder that this is happening right now. Secularism is on the rise, and not just any secularism, satanic secularism. As usual, all we have to do is look at Hollywood and what they are poisoning society with nowadays, and you will just see how bad things are getting. Now, we've gone over many things over the Hollywood Bible studies that we did a couple of months back. Now we have... we're going to go into something that's going on that's happening recently. So it's happened either in the last month or even, in the few days that we've already been into October right now, okay? Now, right now, like I said, I'm going to concentrate on what's happening in TV and the movies right now. Last month, American Horror Story started its new season. And this season's theme is called Apocalypse, of all things. This was the promo poster, as you can see up on the screen, of basically, of this TV show, and it is absolutely disgusting. It's showing the Antichrist being born. Now, these sick images barely scratch the surface of disturbing images and satanic rituals that are shown in this disgusting piece of garbage show. I literally don't understand how anybody could watch this. Anyone. I'm not even talking about just Christians. Now, it's also riddled riddled with witchcraft, something that tends to be a reoccurring theme nowadays. Now, another show that is coming out on Netflix at the end of the month is called The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's based off of a comic book that's been around for quite a long time. I'm sure there's a lot of people that remember Sabrina the Teenage Witch from the 90s. And that was also, it's the same story. That's Sabrina Spellman. This is the exact same story, except of course, when that one show came out in the 90s, it was all comedy. It was all about, it was ha 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 and everything like that. I was one of those people that watched it too. And I'm very sad that I did, in all honesty. Now, as you can see from the trailer, if you look it up, you can see that it's going to be extremely demonic in nature. And not just because I say so. I'm going to read from an article explaining the show, and you will see for yourself. The new series, and this is from the article, the new series stars Mad Men's Kiernan Shipka as Sabrina Spellman, a teenage girl whose 16th birthday is more scary than sweet. She has to decide whether to sign the Devil's Book and become a bride of Satan. If she does, she becomes a full-fledged witch. If she doesn't, she's reduced to a mortal life, but gets to hang out with her cute boyfriend, Harvey Kinkle. Of course, things don't go exactly as planned, as her favorite teacher, Mary Wardell, is possessed by the devil's handmaiden and becomes Madam Satan, a vengeful spirit determined to destroy Sabrina and everything she holds dear. So, now if you watch the trailer, you can see the clear reference of Satan as the Baphomet. And as you can see right there in the picture that I have on there, the first picture is Sabrina, and you can see the horns coming out of her head. But then you can see, the other part where it's like as if Sabrina's looking down the table, and there's the Baphomet sitting right there, at the head of the table, watching her blow out her candles. And it's once again, it's this. The Baphomet is this disgusting, goat-headed, moronic being that basically, represents Satan. Now, this is targeted to teenagers. And I don't know if you remember back in the 90s when the movie The Craft came out, there was a huge uptick in teens interested in the occult and witchcraft at that time. And still to this day, owners of occult bookstores say that they can tell when the movie is played on TV because they get an influx of teenagers that come in the store looking for books and articles pertaining to witchcraft. Now, if that was back in the 90s, imagine what is going on now that we have a myriad of witchcraft shows and movies all over the place. In fact, actually, a new study has shown that Satanism and witchcraft is on the rise in unprecedented numbers. Now, I don't know about you, but that would worry me tremendously. Not in the sense of being afraid of these ridiculous people, because greater is he that is in me than he who is in the world. But in the sense that people are openly turning from God and finding acceptance in the dark world of the occult. Now, that will give the demons more ground to work in. It will give Satan more hold on people you love, your family, your friends, and that is a dangerous ground to walk on. One that saddens me tremendously to think that this is being accepted, and too many Christians are turning a blind eye to it, and even worse, engaging in it as well. You engage in it when you watch it, when you are basically allowing a door to be opened into your life for demonic activity. You begin to play with the things of Satan and think that because you are a Christian that you can do so. And that's not okay. The Bible is very clear about staying away from all things witchcraft and demonic. And if any of my Bible studies have ever, shown that, you should definitely, this shouldn't come as a surprise. Now, it doesn't stop here. This month, a movie titled The House with a Clock in Its Walls is going to be coming out. Either it came out, what was it, this week or last week maybe?
I think it was last week.
I'm not sure. Well, this movie features Jack Black, an actor who does not shy away from Satanism or all things demonic. This man should never be placed in a position to entertain kids. Ever. And this movie is full of demonic witchcraft and images. It contains scenes of blood magic rituals, necromancy, demons, pentagrams, and of course witchcraft. Now this movie is yet another doorway into the occult, just like Harry Potter. and they teach children witchcraft, real witchcraft. Now, how is this okay? How in the world is this okay? Let's go to 2 Timothy 4, 3 through 4. 4? 3 through 4. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts they shall heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Now what? Did you think that this was only a reference to a different religion, such as Mormonism, Jehovah's Witnesses, or perhaps that this was only towards things such as the prosperity gospel, or, like the NAR, which it's the New Apostolic Reformation? Is that what you think that this verse only means? No, because it doesn't. This also means witchcraft. I mean, we're talking about fables. What is a movie or a TV show but nothing more but a fable? And a lot of people are turning towards these fables because their itching ear says, I like this. This also, it's a way to deceive you and to bring poison into your life. God does not want this for his children. In Revelation 21:8, it says, but the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, any idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake, which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Every time the Bible references witchcraft or sorcerers, it is always something God hates, and something that will be alive and well in the end times. So like I said, I mean, just these two, the TV show and this movie alone, it does not even scratch the surface of the witchcraft type of movies that are coming out, not just on TV, but in the movie screens and everything. It's ridiculous the amount of things that is out there that's just nothing but witches. Mm-hmm. Now, does the Bible say that, as long as it's good magic, or as long as it has a cute mouse that advertises it, that it's okay to partake in it, or it's okay to watch it? It's okay because it's Mickey Mouse, or it's something cute.
There's a lion.
It's all right. Yeah. It does not. That is why we should not participate in any way, shape, or form with anything that has to do with magic. And now that people are turning more towards the occult instead of God, Christians need to be front and center warning everyone to stay away from it, not engage in it and go to the movies and watch it and let our children play with anything associated with it. The days are getting more and more evil, and we need to be watching and warning. Now let's take another look at another form of Satanism that is being normalized. Honey, I need the pictures. Okay, these t-shirts are being sold at stores across America. One being the very popular mall store called Spencer's. And I'm pretty sure that they probably also sell it at Hot Topic as well, okay? More than likely. Both of those stores have been completely crossed off my list. I will never darken their doorstep ever. Now, this first one that we can see here on the screen, it says, let's sacrifice Toby. Showing children about to perform a sacrifice, and the blocks on the ground say 666. Now, here's another one that says, let's summon demons, with a child inside of a pentagram. Now, I want you to notice how all of these shirts have children in them. Why is it children? How is that funny? How does anyone put on a shirt like that, walk around town, and think that this is a form of art, or that this is supposed to be humorous in any way, shape, or form? Now, just going through this, go to the next picture. And you can see the constant satanic theme within these shirts. This is, I believe, the name of the artist that drew these, something Rhodes. Stephen Rhodes, something like that. But he's like this one guy that's like, now this, one of these shirts actually became popular thanks to some stupid woman that was at Comic-Con who was interviewed or something, and she was wearing that shirt. Okay, I think it was the Let's Sacrifice Toby, either that one or one of the other ones. So these shirts started becoming popular, and now all of a sudden you can just walk into any mall and purchase these type of shirts. No problem. And as you can see, Satan is targeting our children. He wants their innocence. He wants to pollute their minds because he knows his time is short. So that's why we need to be more on the defensive, on the offensive. Both sides we need to be on, because we need to be protecting our children more than anything in this world, not just ourselves. We need to be, really focusing on our kids, because they are the ones that are being targeted right now. Aside from the satanic world that we are living in, we are also witnessing natural disasters at an alarming rate, and they are getting worse. Now, just last week in Indonesia, go to the next one, they had a 7.5 earthquake, which...
Another picture.
Huh?
There was music.
Okay, keep going.
Another picture.
Okay, so we're still looking at the
Oh,
t-shirts.
music. Sing along.
Yeah, nice, huh?
Oh.
Look at that.
Sell your soul. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Dick and Jane selling their soul.
All right. So there was a 7.5 earthquake, which produced a giant tsunami with 10-foot waves. Actually, I heard from 10 to 12-foot waves that killed, to date at least, about 1,400 people. Now, if that wasn't enough, just a few days ago, they had another 6.0. The day after the first huge earthquake, they even had the volcano erupt on that same island. Now, there are many who will tell you that there has always been natural disasters, which of course is true, but the frequency and the severity is getting worse and worse. It's not something that we should be taking lightly. These are signs that the earth is moaning, that it's groaning, that there's something big that's going to happen, that is coming. That's why Jesus told us to watch for these signs and these symbols, because these are the things that are showing us that we are in the last days. Luke 21:25. And there it says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. In Luke 21:11, it says, and great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Matthew 24:7-8 says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. Now, of course, we've also been having a lot of animal deaths like crazy for the last about 10 years now. So this is nothing new, which means that the days are getting shorter. I'm going to just give you a very small list of very recent animal deaths. On the 20th of September 2018, dozens of birds fell dead from the sky. A mystery, basically, because nobody knows what happened to these birds, in British Columbia, Canada. On the 17th of September, 350 dead penguins found washed up on beaches in Paraná, Brazil. On the same day, 17th of September, thousands of dead fish wash up on a beach in Karachi, Pakistan. The 13th of September, hundreds of dead fish wash up on a beach in Texas, America. I could literally go on and on for every month, back several years now, showing animals dying in large numbers, and most of the time, the scientists don't even have an explanation, and they write it off as a mystery. This is a tiny list of what I just told you about, a tiny list, because it almost seems like if not on a daily basis, it's every other day animals are dying. It's not just fishes, it's the birds, it's the animals dropping dead in the middle of a field for no reason. And people don't stop and think, there's something weird here? What's going on? Is God trying to talk to us and tell us something? We are watching natural disasters happen all the time. Look at Hawaii and what just recently happened with the volcano and how long it erupted for. Volcanoes all over the world are going off at the same time. Like I said, the earth is moaning. And just like the birth pangs, they are getting closer and closer together. And we will reach a point where the water will break, and the times of Jacob's troubles, also known as, the tribulation days, will ascend on the earth. Jesus said to watch for the signs and seasons. They will be all around us, and we are supposed to be ready. Do we know the day or the hour? Of course not. No one knows. But we can know the time period because we are told to watch and make sure our household is in order so that that day does not overtake us like a thief. Jesus will be that thief coming to get his bride before the tribulation days. Let's all go to Revelation 16:15. Oh, and also Hosea 4:3, just really quick. Hosea 4:3 does say, "Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea shall also be taken away." So, all right, on to Revelation 16:15. I don't think all the pictures came in right.
What? No,
Uh-huh.
I put them all in there. Every single one.
Okay, Revelation 16:15 says, "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame." So those are the red words. That's Jesus speaking. He says, "Behold, I come as a thief." We just read before where he talked about pay attention. Don't allow yourself to be overtaken, because he's coming like a thief. In Mark 13:35 through 37, it says, "Watch ye therefore," and this is words in red, also Jesus' words. "Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at even or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch." So he makes it very clear to be paying attention. We're not supposed to be just going about our day all the time without paying any attention whatsoever to what's going on around us. It's just because you close your eyes, just because you stop and say, well, as long as it doesn't affect me, well, as long as it's not at my doorstep, or I really don't care what's going on out there because it depresses me and I just don't want to see it. That's not what Jesus is saying. And it's not something that it should frighten you. It shouldn't frighten you. It shouldn't depress you. It shouldn't do any of those things to you. It should actually be it make you feel like Jesus is right around the corner. And I need to be prepared. My children need to be prepared. My husband, my wife, my family, I need to do what I need to do in order to make sure that they are saved, that they are good. They are, in that, moment of understanding that Jesus is about to come. That sense of urgency needs to be there. And we need to all feel that sense of urgency. Because once Jesus comes back and we're raptured out of here, we are going to be lamenting the fact that, why didn't we say something? What if we're still here and Jesus comes and he takes his bride? And you're still here, and you're just walking around going, why didn't I listen? Why didn't I pay attention? I was supposed to have been, I'm supposed to believe what the Word of God says. And a lot of Christians, they walk around not truly saved. And a lot of them are walking around and just, I'm just going to live my life however I feel like I'm going to live it, without taking any consideration in the fact that I'm going to live my life the way God tells me how to live it. I don't care how I'm supposed to live my life, according to the world, because the world is not going to save me. They're not going to be there for me when Jesus comes back to get me. But God will, and his word is here to help us get through anything and everything. What we tell, people what Bible stands for, right? Basic instructions before leaving earth. And that's exactly what it is. It's the Word of God is teaching us how we're supposed to live our life through past stories, through parables, through the warnings, through all these things. We're supposed to take it all into account, believe 100% in everything that happened from Genesis to Revelation. And we're supposed to believe that. We're supposed to live every single day walking in that Word. And if we do so, there is no God-shaped hole that we're going to have to worry about. There is no depression or anxiety that we're going to have to worry about, because God's peace transcends all understanding. And as long as we're living for him, you will feel that peace. So until Jesus comes back, we're going to be doing these prophecy updates once a month so that everyone out there, because I know, people work, they have lives and whatnot. It doesn't mean that you need to be, just completely engrossed in this every single day or anything like that. But it's good to every now and then stop and go, what's happening in the world? Because Jesus says, watch. Because when we see these things come to pass, that's when we're supposed to lift up our eyes and look up and know that our redemption is drawing near. So that's what we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's prophecy update. And like I said, next week we are going to be having our testimony night. Please let me know if you feel that God is leading you to give your testimony. It is a very important thing to do that. Send me a message, or also prayer requests. We are doing our prayer requests. We're just not doing it on camera anymore, just because of time restraints and whatnot. Not because we're not praying for you guys or anything like that. So please leave a comment in the section, or send me a private Facebook message, and we will get your prayer requests written down in our prayer request book. So until Sunday, we will be having church. I thank you guys for watching. May God bless you throughout the rest of this week. And I pray that you guys take these things to heart and understand that we are living in very interesting times right now, and we will be seeing Jesus coming soon. So God bless everyone. Thank you.